In 2015, I came across the late, great Charles Tyler Show YouTube channel. It's still up. You can subscribe, but the brother is now deceased. And he had a YouTube channel, man, that was quite like no other. He was building content for African-American men and brothers that was, in Britain and stuff like that. He was getting black men to see another option outside of America if you wanted black women. Thus, Charles Tyler, the black man's option, right? This is what he called his Facebook group. It has been changed to something else. But Charles Tyler was unique in the fact that he offered assistance, guidance, almost everything you needed if you wanted to even live in Brazil and have a different life. And this is what is most powerful about the Charles Tyler Show YouTube channel. At the time, he had been there maybe 14 or 15 times. And through him, I was able to see a brother by the name of Al Grease. Al Grease actually did a documentary called Frustrated: Black Men in Brazil. Now, this documentary hit home because a lot of the brothers were upper middle class, older middle class guys who had things going for themselves financially. They had problems in America with dating, black women. And so what they wanted to do is they were talking about the good treatment they were getting over in Brazil, right? They had a much different experience. And a lot of these professional brothers were meeting up and they were going over there. And many of them have been going over there for years, right? Some of the guys in Charles Tyler Show's situation actually got married and moved to Brazil. I saw some of that happening. He had interviewed people and things like that. I know Al Grease. I'm doing a show with him this weekend. He has talked to me about that. But one of the things I never really noticed from this group or from any of the documentaries, I never saw black men meet any women from those places in these particular communities and bring them back to the USA. Whenever I would hear stuff about like black women in Brazil, I would always see the promotion of black men who have moved to Brazil get with Brazilian women, but never the other way around. I even asked Charles about it. Like, hey man, you know what? I always see, brothers going to Brazil, but never bringing women back. I asked Andrew 26101 the similar thing, right? And what I got from Charles Tyler was that if you brought a woman from from Brazil to the United States, she is going to be getting into what is known as the matrix, right? And the matrix mindset is going to destroy her natural habitat of femininity, wanting to, be in a good relationship. And she's going to lose her morality in the United States. So if you're going to deal with the foreign woman, you better never bring her back here. Talk Taylor Made Dreams. He told me the same thing. Now, a criticism of black men who do these dating escapades or go overseas, they always complain that black women, they can't date them in America. But then one of the arguments is, well, they don't want to bring them back to America. And that's a fair point. But I think that the brothers have a good point, and I'm going to prove it to you right now with this senator called Ilhan Omar. Now, I won't talk to you about this. I'm not a news reporter or anything like that, but Ilhan Omar is a senator out of Minnesota, right? She is not without controversy. A lot of people don't like her. A lot of even Democrats don't like her. She's a young person. She lives in Minneapolis. A lot of people on the right, especially some people in the Jewish communities, that don't like her. She is unique in the fact that she's a Somalian immigrant, right? She's from Somalia. And everybody knows about, Somalia and some of the problems that it has. But recently, Representative Omar has been accused of breaking up a marriage, okay, with a particular guy who was married to a doctor, and I believe her name is Dr. Beth Minute. She says that Ilhan Omar is having this relationship with her husband. And when confronted about this, Omar refused to comment. Now, I don't know if this is true or not, right? But most people think that it is. And let's assume that it is so. Look at Ilhan Omar, right? Now, think about it. She is from Islam. She's a Muslim. I talked to somebody from Somalia. One of them works for me on my Kingana channel. She talks about if a woman is accused of adultery in Somalia and it's confirmed, they dig a hole for you. They put you in there, let your head be visible, and people stone you to death. This is what happens. And think about Omar, who comes from a culture like that, where adultery and all of that is just strictly prohibited. You would never even think about doing something like this, right? But now that she has come to the United States and has freedom under the law, can become senator, can do these great things. And now because she knows she cannot be hurt, she can do things like that, she can get out of her element that she's typically raised in and the values she has. The United States, one can say, has corrupted her thinking. It has taken away her values. And this is a woman who is a devout Muslim. You think about it. When you hear about infidelity, even amongst women in America, let's just be honest, man, they're always Christian, right? You never really hear about Muslim women stepping outside of those things. You just don't hear it. But to hear it from Ilhan Omar, that's even like a mind-boggling thing. Here's a lady that wears a hijab, right? Professing her faith. And even in the United States, there's evidence that she has broken up a marriage so far as traveling the United States with another man's husband. And what would happen for people who come from Brazil, Catholic countries, or Christianity, where, there are no offenses for cheating or adultery? What I'm saying is black men do have a point here, okay? If you bring a woman to America, and Eddie Murphy talked about that a long time ago in the comedy stand-up routine, they are going to be, in a way, poisoned, right? The United States mentality, it takes away from some of the values that a lot of brothers are looking for in women outside of the country. And this is why I think that when black men date overseas, they date overseas knowing it can never be a full-time thing until one of them retires, but they can't bring them back to the United States. It's not an option because then they're going to get feminized. That's the key. Such has happened to Omar, right? And I believe that this is going to come out that this is true. This is the reason why a lot of black men, they leave those women in those countries. Because people say, why don't you bring them back? If they knew that I can bring my woman back to America and it's not going to have an effect on her, they would do it. I think that's me honestly being truthful. The reason why a lot of black men have not left the United States going over to Brazil or the Dominican Republic is because they can't get the money to do it. If black men could have their same amount of money and live in the DR or live in Brazil and it was guaranteed, there would be hardly any black men in America. A lot of brothers would be out of these places, right? And that's the thing. I think that that's what we need to really start to look at. Bringing foreign women to America is going to be, for a lot of brothers, just as bad as dating an American chick. Like, why am I dating why am I dating a woman if I'm bringing her from Brazil to the United States? she's eventually going to become what I don't want. And we're seeing this in the case of the Omar lady, who is a Muslim, right? Look how it's done with her. So I think in the defense of black men who say, I don't want to bring my love interest to America, I think this is the case, right? So, I mean, I just want to weigh in on this. This is why brothers don't do it. What do you guys think, man? Go ahead, drop me a comment below. Subscribe, hit the bell. Support your boy on patreon.com/NegroManosphere. And so what do you guys think, man? Check out the links for the story. Let me know what you think. And as you know, the buffoonery remains at an all-time high. I'm out.